You know that question that people ask sometimes, like, what do you wish you knew, like, when you were 20, or, what would you tell your younger self that you know now? I saw that today as a writing prompt, and I wrote a blog on it. And when I think back to what I wish I knew, it's actually that I knew at 21 what I know now. The problem was I didn't listen to it or follow it, and I chose a completely different path. And now 30 years later, I'm faced with the same decision that I was at age 21. But now I know that I need to pursue that and try to make a go of it. And now I have the foresight and the 30 years of just painful trying to fit into a corporate environment when I am just not meant for it. 30 years of it. And it took getting laid off recently for me to take the time to say, stop the rat race and think about what it is I need to do, what I want to do, what makes me happy, and allow the creative space for that to happen. And everything I'm doing right now is very grassroots, first draft kind of stuff, because I'm just learning. And my goal is to perfect these videos and make my writing better and just keep going and going until I have something much more valuable and polished. But it takes practice. So thank you for viewing these videos and sticking with me. I appreciate that because I promise that it's going to get better. But I knew at 21 what I know now, and I ignored it. And I'm not saying it was a mistake. Lots of good things happened, and the fact that I'm financially secure at the moment is not the situation I would have been in at 21, having made the choice to pursue a writing career or whatever may come of that. So, no regrets. I don't live like that, but now is my opportunity to think differently and to try different things. So, and it dawned on me when I was seeing somebody else's post about their experience in corporate America. It reminded me that every single depressive episode I've had in pretty much the past 25 years was triggered by something from work. And I'm on medication for depression. I have major recurrent depression. So basically I have depression all the time. And then there are periods of time where I go into actual episodes that go real dark and deep. And I'm never quite sure how I'm going to get out of those. Unfortunately, I have gotten out of all of those. But the scariest one I had was the one at the end of 2025. That was the worst it's ever been. And I honestly thought I was going to end up collapsing and in a hospital. And I desperately wanted to take a leave of absence from work to address my mental and physical health, and I couldn't afford to do it because you have to take you only get paid 60% of your pay on that leave. And so I didn't take a leave of absence. I pushed through it. Fortunately, I traveled in the beginning of January to South America, and I think that gave me a little bit more gasoline. I was also working on a relationship with a narcissist, which at the time was very good. And so that kind of distracted me enough to get out of that episode. But that sense of just trying to get through it, push through, was the only thing I was doing while working, was just get through it one day at a time until you figure out how to get out of it. And so that decision was made for me. And I'm happy with that. The outcome is great. And that's what I'm working on now. But I think it's really awful to think that anyone could have depressive episodes to the extent that I did, triggered solely from their work environment. That's not good. And I think that can happen to anyone. I think I'm certainly prone to it because I was neurodivergent and just constantly misunderstood and constantly being put in situations that were not healthy, and I did not get the support that I consistently and repeatedly asked for over the past 4 years to address those issues and to help me be in a healthier environment that removed some of those triggers. None of that support was ever provided or acted upon. And I was very specific about what I wanted my boss to help me with and the things I needed him to address outside of me, and it never happened. And so the fact that we got to the point that things got so bad end of last year, and I ended up with a target on my back because of it, all of that was avoidable. And I was giving specific directions as to very simple things, very clear things that a neurodivergent needs in the workplace. And instead, that got weaponized against me. So I knew at 21 the life I was going into to some extent, and I've survived it, and there were a lot of good things that came out of it, but I'm processing that now, and I am trying to mentally recover from 30 years of that damage. So check out my blog. I've linked it to my bio here at TikTok. I'm going to keep trying to do a little bit of both, but I did write about this today. Thanks.